Now we've got 2009's driver list. Elliott Sadler and Casey Kane are in the 9 and 19 again, but it is Scott Speed driving the 84 car. Marcus Ambrose driving the 47 for JTG Doherty Racing.
He was in the hospital?
Marcus Ambrose is an Australian from Tasmania who's taking a shot at NASCAR and won his very first race at Watkins Glen, a road course.
There we go.
Well, Pablo Montoya will be driving a Chevy Impala, if I have not mentioned, and I mentioned that back in the previous clip. It's basically going to be a wacky season this year, like it was last year. The Office Depot colors are going to Tony Stewart. The Old Spice sponsor is going with Tony Stewart. And Ryan Newman will be switching from a Dodge Charger to a Chevy Impala, which would basically be a very good move for the GM camp, as they will probably win more races than Toyota this year.
Your fault.
Which Kyle Busch had dominated the NASCAR season this year. Now next season, I'll be looking for switching teams. I'm actually doing a Sprint Cup preview for this year. Yeah. That'll be fun. This was a fairly crazy season. Talking with Burnsell, a friend of mine. Ryan, what do you think was going on, what will go on this year, the next season instead of this season? What do you think would be different?
I don't know. I have no clue. I didn't watch much of it this year.
Right, just think about, I guess, what's going to go on next year.
Next year?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
What do you think's going to go on?
Well, I think GM's going to win more races than other manufacturers like Toyota dominated the Sprint Cup Series this year. And so I think Toyota has probably got a little bit more experience now. They have Michael Waltrip Racing. They've got Joe Gibbs Racing with Toyota. So,
Yeah.
Logano is going to be behind the wheel of the number 20. So basically, a lot of drivers are switching teams, a lot of cars switching sponsors, switching colors. David Runeman probably going back to the 00 with the UPS colors going to David Reagan.
How do you think Junior's going to do this next season?
I think Junior's going to do pretty well this year. After he started out with Hendrick, after DEI's little controversy just a couple seasons ago, I think Dale Earnhardt Jr. is just going to win some more races this year. I think the next season, Dale Earnhardt Jr. is going to do a little bit more better after he had been with Hendrick for a year. So Dale Earnhardt Jr. may win some more races than he did this year. He won at Daytona, the shootout, and his duel at Daytona. Then he won in Michigan, the first race. I think he's going to do a little bit more better. I think he's going to win at Daytona this year. I think he's going to pull the top Daytona trifecta. I think he's going to win the shootout, the duel at Daytona, and the Daytona 500.
Yeah, he actually did pretty good at the beginning of this year, last year or whatever.
That just sucked.
He was doing pretty good at the beginning, but then he's just started getting worse and worse, having more crashes, blowouts.
Yeah.
Tires blowing out and stuff.
Engines blowing. That was a pretty sucky season for 2007 for him. Yeah. He was leaving DEI that year. He came to Hendrick. Dale Earnhardt Sr. When he died back in 2001, it left Teresa Earnhardt in control of that team.
Geico, 15 minutes to save you 15% or more on race car insurance.
My foot!
The racing career for Mark Martin is going pretty good. He's been on a limited schedule for the past 2 years. So Mark Martin's gonna go back in. Do you think he will win the championship this year from the number 5 instead of going to the number 8?
What's Tony Stewart changing his number to? Do you
14.
14?
For
Who's
number
he
20.
racing for?
Stewart Haas Racing. He's racing for his own team.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's my penny.
That's cool. It's gonna cost a lot of money.
It's gonna cost a lot of money, but it may help him out.
Where am I gonna make a magic?
It's a good thing that
Create a new project.
it's a good thing for Chevrolet that he went back to Chevy.
Yeah.
Says
What's he racing?
You can just call
Toyota
it
Camry.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's my penny.
So
Toyota.
Toyota was very dominant with Kyle Busch. Denny Hamlin won the first Martinsville race, and that's the only race he won this year. Jeff Gordon's winless season, really, it's been about 14 years since he's been shut out back in 1983.
1993.
So
1993.
it's not the end of the world. So how do you think the Hendrick Motorsports
You guys have about 15 minutes, so be
I'm not
aware
for
of
sure.
that.
How'd they do this year?
Jamie Johnson won his 3rd consecutive championship. Dale Earnhardt Jr. won a race during the season.
They'll probably do pretty good. Probably do better than what they did this season.
Alright,
Yeah.
you gotta finish my work. You gotta finish my work.
With Casey Mears out of the number 5 and Mark Martin in, do you think that Hendrick Motorsports is going to be the most dominant this next season during 2009 instead of last season?
I'm more on car insurance.
Do you think that Hendrick Motorsports is going to do better the next season
Brandon.
but compared to last season when everybody had caught up to him?